Hello, Golden State Warriors fan. We're back with an exclusive video bringing you the latest updates. First of all, subscribe to the channel and like the video. It's crucial for you to stay informed with the news daily. Without further ado, let's get to the news. The Golden State Warriors fan base woke up to a wave of shock and disbelief after what many are calling one of the most emotionally heavy rumors in recent franchise history. Draymond Green, the heartbeat, the voice, and the emotional engine of the Warriors dynasty, is suddenly at the center of whispers that feel almost impossible to process. According to circulating speculation, Draymond has made a somber announcement behind closed doors, one that carries the weight of finality and has left teammates, staff, and fans stunned. This is not being framed as a loud, dramatic exit, but rather as something quiet, reflective, and deeply personal, which only amplifies the emotional impact. The idea of Draymond Green wearing another jersey feels unnatural to an entire generation of fans who associate his intensity, defensive genius, and unapologetic leadership with the Warriors logo itself. The rumors suggest this is not about anger or conflict, but about exhaustion, legacy, and the toll of years spent fighting at the highest level. Draymond has always been more than numbers on a stat sheet. He's been a cultural pillar inside that locker room. That is why the mere possibility of his departure feels like the end of an era, not just a roster change. Fans are struggling to understand how a team built on continuity, loyalty, and shared championships could face such a crossroads. The uncertainty is heavy, and the silence from official sources only fuels the speculation further. What makes this rumor even more powerful is the emotional framing surrounding Draymond's alleged words. Insiders claim the tone was not defiant, not resentful, but heavy with gratitude and reflection. The suggestion is that Draymond spoke about chapters, about knowing when a story has said everything it needed to say, and about respecting the natural flow of a career. For a player who built his reputation on fire and confrontation, this softer narrative feels almost surreal. Yet, those closest to the situation believe it makes sense. Draymond has logged countless deep playoff runs, physical battles, and emotional wars that do not show up in box scores. His body, his mind, and his spirit have all been tested relentlessly. The rumor paints a picture of a player who understands his value, but also understands the cost of sustaining it. This is not about feeling unwanted by the Warriors, but about questioning whether the version of Draymond Green that once terrorized opponents nightly can still exist within the same structure. Fans are torn between denial and acceptance, holding on to hope while preparing for heartbreak. The Warriors without Draymond feels like a band missing its drummer, the rhythm suddenly uncertain. Even imagining the Chase Center crowd reacting to a farewell moment sends chills through the fan base. Another layer of speculation centers on how this potential exit could reshape the Warriors' identity moving forward. Draymond Green has been the connective tissue between offense and defense, between stars and role players, between strategy and emotion. Losing him would not simply remove a defender or a playmaker. It would remove the team's emotional compass. Rumors suggest the front office is quietly preparing for multiple scenarios, aware that once a player like Draymond starts contemplating departure, the conversation shifts from if to when. There is a belief that the Warriors want to honor him rather than fight the inevitable, which adds to the somber tone surrounding the situation. Fans are speculating about how younger players would respond to such a vacuum, who would speak up in tense moments, and who would hold teammates accountable when games start slipping away. Draymond's voice has echoed through championship huddles and brutal playoff losses alike. The thought of that voice fading into memory is unsettling. This rumor has forced Warriors fans to confront a reality they never wanted to imagine, one where loyalty and time finally collide, and no amount of nostalgia can stop the clock from moving forward. The emotional ripple effect of this rumor extends beyond Golden State and into the broader league narrative. Draymond Green is not just a Warrior. He is a symbol of a certain style of basketball that values intelligence, toughness, and sacrifice over flashy individualism. If he truly leaves, it sends a message that even the strongest dynastic bonds eventually loosen. Speculation suggests Draymond understands the historical weight of his decision and does not take it lightly. There is talk that he wants control over how his story is remembered, rather than slowly fading into a diminished role that does not reflect his prime. This idea resonates with fans who watched other legends struggle to adapt to time's cruelty. Draymond has always been outspoken about legacy, respect, and self-awareness, which gives credibility to these whispers. The rumor frames his potential exit as an act of self-respect rather than surrender. Still, that does little to ease the pain for fans who feel blindsided by the possibility. The Warriors have been a constant in a league defined by change, and Draymond has been a constant within that constant. Losing him would feel like losing the last piece of an unbreakable puzzle. As the speculation grows louder, fans are dissecting every recent interaction, every sideline moment, and every post-game quote for hidden meaning. Was there a hint in his body language, a pause in his words, a look that suggested closure rather than continuation? The rumor machine thrives on these details, creating a narrative that feels increasingly real with each passing hour. Some believe Draymond has been mentally preparing himself for this moment for a long time, even while continuing to give everything on the court. Others argue this could be a strategic move, a way to force reflection within the organization. Regardless of intent, the emotional response is undeniable. Warriors fans are experiencing a strange mix of gratitude and grief, thankful for the memories but terrified of the future. This rumor has opened a wound that many did not know existed, exposing how deeply intertwined Draymond Green is with their basketball identity. Whether true or not, the conversation alone has already changed how fans view the present and future of the franchise. Part 2 of this unfolding rumor dives deeper into what Draymond Green leaving could actually mean for him as a person, not just as a player. Those close to the situation suggest this is about more than basketball, more than schemes or rotations. It is about peace of mind and the desire to redefine himself beyond the Warriors' ecosystem. Draymond has spent his entire professional life under an intense spotlight, constantly defending his style, his emotions, and his role. The rumor implies that stepping away could be a way to reclaim autonomy, to explore basketball without the weight of expectation that comes with being a foundational piece of a dynasty. This perspective humanizes the situation and makes it harder to dismiss as mere drama. Fans who have followed his journey from overlooked prospect to championship cornerstone understand how much pressure that path carries. The idea that he might want a different environment, even temporarily, feels both heartbreaking and understandable. It suggests maturity, not weakness. Still, it clashes with the romantic image of a lifelong warrior that fans have clung to for years. Speculation also swirls around how his departure would be framed if it becomes official. The rumor emphasizes dignity, mutual respect, and gratitude on both sides. There's no sense of betrayal being pushed, only a recognition that eras end whether we are ready or not. This tone matters because it shapes how fans will remember this moment. Draymond Green has never been a quiet presence, but this potential exit is being described as almost solemn. That contrast alone has made the story explode across fan communities. People are debating whether this is the right time, whether the Warriors could still contend with him, and whether letting go now preserves his legacy at its peak. These discussions reveal how deeply fans care not just about winning, but about honoring what Draymond represents. The rumor forces everyone to confront uncomfortable truths about aging, evolution, and the cost of sustained greatness. Another fascinating angle of this speculation is the silence from Draymond himself. Known for speaking his mind, his quietness is being interpreted as meaningful rather than accidental. Fans are reading into the absence of denial as confirmation, even though nothing has been officially stated. This vacuum allows imagination to run wild, and every possibility feels equally plausible. Some believe he is giving the organization space to prepare. Others think he is processing the emotional weight privately. The lack of clarity only deepens the intrigue. Warriors supporters are refreshing feeds not for breaking news, but for reassurance. This rumor has created a collective anxiety, a shared emotional experience that transcends wins and losses. It reminds everyone that sports are ultimately about people, relationships, and stories that end whether we want them to or not. The potential basketball implications are being discussed endlessly, but always with an emotional undertone. Analysts and fans alike wonder how the Warriors would replace Draymond's defensive IQ, his ability to orchestrate offense from unconventional positions, and his leadership during chaos. Yet, even these tactical conversations feel secondary to the emotional impact. The rumor is not just about lineups. It is about identity erosion. Draymond Green leaving would mark the clearest signal, yet that the dynasty, as it was known, truly belongs to the past. That realization is painful. Even for those who intellectually understand, it is inevitable. The Warriors have been a symbol of continuity in a league built on change, and Draymond has been central to that symbolism. Letting go feels like admitting that time has won. As fans continue to speculate, one thing becomes clear. Whether this rumor materializes or not, it has already left a lasting emotional imprint. It has forced appreciation, reflection, and vulnerability within a fan base that has been spoiled by success. Draymond Green's legacy is secure, but the idea of his absence creates a void that no rumor can fully prepare anyone for. If this truly is the beginning of goodbye, it will not be loud or chaotic. It will be heavy, reflective, and deeply human. And perhaps that is the most Draymond Green way for an era to approach its end. The second part of this rumor-driven story dives even deeper into the emotional and psychological layers surrounding the possibility of Draymond Green stepping away from the Warriors, and the more people talk about it, the heavier it feels. The speculation suggests that this is not a sudden impulse, but a thought that has been growing quietly over time, shaped by years of responsibility and expectation. Draymond has always carried more than his share of the load, not just guarding the toughest opponents or facilitating offense, but acting as the moral compass of the team. According to the rumor, that constant responsibility has reached a point where reflection becomes unavoidable. There is a sense that he has started asking himself who he is without the Warriors, without the constant need to be the loudest voice in the room. For a player so deeply identified with one franchise, that question alone can be terrifying. Fans sense that this internal conflict is real, and that is why the rumor feels so convincing. It does not sound like drama created for headlines, but like a human story about identity and evolution. The idea that Draymond might want to choose his next chapter on his own terms resonates deeply, even if it hurts. Warriors supporters are left wondering whether loving a player also means accepting when it is time for them to walk away. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. Another layer of speculation revolves around how Draymond Green's presence has shaped the culture of the Warriors and what happens when that presence is removed. Rumors suggest that within the locker room, his voice has been both a source of strength and an emotional anchor. Younger players reportedly look to him not just for basketball guidance, but for cues on how to carry themselves under pressure. If he leaves, that mentorship gap could feel enormous. Fans are speculating about whether the organization believes it is time for a new generation of leadership to emerge, even if that transition feels uncomfortable. Draymond's style of leadership is not easily replicated because it is built on credibility earned through battles and championships. The rumor implies that he understands this better than anyone, and that part of his decision may involve trusting that the team must learn to stand without him. That idea is both noble and heartbreaking. It frames his potential departure not as abandonment, but as a final act of leadership, stepping aside so others can grow. Still, for fans who have watched him anchor the emotional core of the team for so long, imagining that void feels overwhelming and deeply unsettling. The speculation also touches on how Draymond Green wants to be remembered, and this might be one of the strongest drivers behind the rumor. According to the whispers, he is acutely aware of how quickly narratives can change when a player overstays their prime. Draymond has never been obsessed with scoring totals or flashy highlights, but he has always cared deeply about respect. The rumor suggests he does not want his final years to be defined by decline or frustration, but by control and intention. This perspective adds a layer of maturity to the story that fans cannot ignore. Many supporters admit they would rather remember him as the fierce, intelligent leader who shaped an era than watch him struggle to fit into a version of the team that no longer matches his strengths. That does not make the idea of his exit easier, but it makes it feel more understandable. The Warriors have always preached about doing things the right way, and this rumor frames Draymond's possible decision as aligned with that philosophy. Even in uncertainty, there is a strange sense of respect growing among fans who are grappling with the emotional weight of letting go. As this rumor continues to circulate, fans are also speculating about the emotional toll this decision may be taking on Draymond himself. Known for his confidence and outspoken nature, the idea that he might be quietly wrestling with doubt feels deeply human. The speculation paints a picture of long conversations, late nights of reflection, and an awareness that once a door closes, it rarely opens the same way again. Draymond's connection to the Warriors is not transactional. It is personal, built through shared struggles and triumphs. That makes the possibility of separation feel more like a family moment than a business decision. Fans sense that if he leaves, there will be tears on both sides, even if the public face remains composed. This rumor has reminded everyone that behind the intensity and bravado is a person who has given everything to one organization. That realization has softened some of the anger and denial, replacing it with gratitude and quiet sadness. Even those who initially dismissed the idea are now admitting that it feels possible, and that acceptance is slowly settling in. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dub community. Stay tuned for the next video.